Hey yo, what's up and welcome. I'm the one and only West Coast King, and welcome back to the Chicago Fire career, where today we are starting season number 3. But we start off today with some awards for last season, because we didn't really get into that last episode. I mentioned that Frankowski won the Golden Boot, so that's good to see for our team. But the team of the competition is out. I think this is limited to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Although if it is, I don't know why Mihailovic is in there, because he really didn't do a whole lot in the playoffs. But here is the team of MLS. We have Tim Malia in goal, Mora and Birnbaum from DC as defenders, as well as Trusty and Graham Zusi. Shaloy, Mihailovic, Acosta, and Frankowski are the midfielders, and Wayne Rooney and Ola Kamara, not Ola Kamara, that's Kai Kamara, as the strikers. And the MVP from last season is an interesting one. It was given to Wayne Rooney, which, okay, he had a good season. DC did win the Supporter Shield. Rooney finished with 15 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. But Frankowski finished with 18 goals and 11 assists, won the Golden Boot, and also won MLS Cup. So I'm not exactly sure, unless it's just a pure popularity contest, which the MVP kind of is in MLS, why it wasn't Frankowski over Rooney. But now it is time to move forward into Season 3. So let's get into the MLS draft. I've already selected my 2 players. Let's take a look at who will be joining our team coming out of college. So to start off with, we have our 2nd round pick, and it is a defender by the name of Tyler Campbell out of the University of Indiana. He gets to stay close to home, being from Indiana, so that's pretty nice to see. He's 6'7", an absolute physical monster. I like the way he's looking there. Technical ability definitely needs some work, but that's always something that we can train. Hopefully, he doesn't have to play too much this season. If everyone stays healthy, he'll be a nice backup option for us. And with our 1st round pick, we have gone with attacker Carson Kerr. He can play up front or kind of in behind a little bit. I think he's going to be perfect for that kind of false 9 spot behind our 2 strikers. It gives us more depth up front. Is attacker really of the utmost importance for us right now? No, probably not, but I could not pass up on this kid. I made that mistake in the LAFC series with Brett Evans, and I had to manufacture a way to get him into the team. This time, I'm just going to pick him straight up. He's got 90 plus potential as an American attacker. There's no way I could say no. He's got 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. Physicals are okay. He's not the quickest dude in the world, but I think he will grow quite quickly in that category. And technicals do look really, really good as well. We can train the finishing a little bit. He does need a little work in that area, but overall, this kid is going to be special. So as we move into season number 3, we have quite a few players on expiring contracts. We have to make a decision on these guys, so let's run through them real quick. We have Raheem Edwards, probably going to be keeping him around. I really like him. As long as he's happy, I'm happy to keep him here in Chicago. Nathan Rogerson is absolutely getting a new contract. We'll talk about the goalkeeper position in just a second, because I may have made a little bit of a mistake there. Johan Kappelhoff is probably going to be leaving. He's upset with his playing time, and I just don't have a spot for him, so we'll let him move on. Guyahar, I don't think he's ever played, but I might bring him back. It's nice to have a little bit of depth in the defensive position, so I might look to bring him back. Hassler, I think we're going to let him go. I think he's a little bit upset with his playing time as well, so I just don't have a spot for him. Christian Martinez, I'm on the fence about him. I loved him. We would not have won an MLS Cup last season without Christian Martinez and what he did in the playoffs. But that would also spark the interest of a few other teams in MLS. And I think he might be moving on. I think realism would dictate that we let him go to a new team where he can get some more playing time. He's just not going to get the time he deserves on the field after what he did. He deserves a starting spot somewhere. So I might trade him for a different midfielder, because we do need another midfielder to bring in. So I think, as much as I'd love to keep him, it makes sense to let him move on. Armando Moreno, I don't think I've ever played him, so I'm probably not going to re-sign him. CJ Sapong, 31 years old now. We've got some more attacking depth coming in. I don't think he's necessary for our team anymore, so we will let him move on as well. Appreciate what he did for us. Great role player, but it's time to move on from him. Alexander Katai will absolutely be getting a new contract and solidifying that midfield for us. Kenneth Haber, our 2nd round pick from last season, didn't get any playing time after we switched formations, which is unfortunate because he is a good little player, and I think he could do a job as an attacker up there in that front 3. So I might keep him around and see what he can do up there for us. If it doesn't work out, we might let him go in the summer. And then Fabian Herbers, if someone's dumb enough to take him, I will absolutely be selling him as well. So our first bit of business in this transfer window is actually going to be to take care of Christian Martinez and try to find him a new team that he can actually maybe have a starting spot on, because it's not going to be with us. And I'm going to send him to Toronto, and in return, we're going to bring back Marky Delgado. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're only doing this because you hate playing against Marky Delgado. That is sort of part of the reason why I'm doing this. I always get my ass kicked by Marky Delgado every time we play Toronto, and because of that, I do want to try him out for our team. He's going to add some depth into that midfield spot. We needed that in this team, so it's a win-win for both sides. Hopefully, with this, Christian Martinez gets a chance at some solid, consistent playing time. Our next bit of business is going to be at goalkeeper. And why, you ask? Well, I forgot that at the end of last season, I agreed to loan out Stephen Cleveland to Bristol City, so we don't have a goalkeeper now, at least not a backup goalkeeper to Nathan Rogerson. So we're going to hit the free agency here. Karim Fati, and I don't know, he's 66 rated. It's a small deal. Hopefully Rogerson gets all of the reps anyway, unless he gets hurt. And then we have a whole different set of issues, but we obviously need someone to back him up this season. The first offer is in for one of our players, and it is for Johan Kappelhoff. Not really worried about how much the offer is for or where he's going. I'll go ahead and work out that deal and try to get him offloaded as quickly as possible. The bigger issue is, I just saw this one. Nicholas Kreuzer had his release clause paid by Swansea City. A, didn't know he had a release clause, and B, didn't get an email or any kind of notification saying that it had been paid. So that's a bigger issue. Let's go ahead and get Nicholas Kreuzer a new contract to keep him in Chicago. So Nicolas Gaitan has been sold to Bayer Leverkusen in Germany for just a shade under $26 million. And that frees us up now to bring in our next designated player midfielder. And I pulled a couple of names from the comments from the last few episodes, and there were some really, really good suggestions as well. These are just a few of the ones that I liked. We have Omar Mascarell, Dominic Kor, Sualio Mete, I think is how you say his name. I'm not really sure. Seko Fofana and Victor Guzman. All of them would be very, very good designated players in MLS, but I had to narrow it down. And I've settled on either Sualio Mete or Dominic Kor. Kor from Leverkusen, where we just sent Gaitan. It'd be almost like a player swap deal. I think he might be the better defensive midfielder between the two, but I think Mete's the better overall player. And I'm going to go with Sualio Mete as our next designated player. I just think I really, really like the look of him, and I think he just gives us a little bit more than Dominic Kor. So we have done quite a bit in this transfer window, and I'll just go through it really quick right here. So to start off with, we had Kappelhoff being sold. Then we had Hassler sold as well. Somebody paid the release clause for Amano Moreno, and I didn't step in to stop it. So I let him go. And then I had to keep this one just in case no one believed me. Somebody paid the release clause for Fabian Herbers. I would have sold him for like a Happy Meal. You could have given me like a chicken nugget. I'd been fine. You could have him. But somebody actually gave me $1 million for him, which I was stunned by. So he is gone as well. Sapong, we sold him to Funchal. And then there's the deal for Nicholas Gaitan as well to Leverkusen. So I think barring any unforeseen offers being made for some of our players, that should be it for our business as far as selling people in this transfer window. So we ended up not doing any more business. The transfer window is now closed. And here's what the team is looking like. We have Ramon up top with Frankowski and Jonathan Rodriguez in there behind them. That is a really, depending on how Rodriguez fits in, that could be a lethal attack next season. We've got Katai, Sualio Mete. I'm going to have trouble with his name. And then Mihailovic in the midfield. That midfield's looking really strong as well. The defense is unchanged with Jovan Jones, Austin Trusty, David Wood, and Nicholas Kreuzer with Nathan Rogerson in net. The bench, I think, got a bit of an upgrade. We now have Carson Kerr in there, as well as Marky Delgado. We also have Hodemakers and Sarikaya returning, and then Brant Lillard as well. And our backup goalkeeper, who hopefully never has to see the field. And then in the reserves, we have Edwards, Reynolds, Haber, Campbell, Dunn, who I forgot was even still on this team, McGinnis, Gibbs, and Gudjahar. And then I went and hit the free agency to fill out the roster a little bit. Added another midfielder with Solari, and then Sambueza, a defender. Actually looks pretty decent. He actually might get some game time this season. So I like it. We're at 30 players on the roster now. I think we're ready to head into the season. So for this first game, we're off to Columbus to take on the Crew. which is going to be interesting because I'd say outside of us bringing in Sualio Mete and Jonathan Rodriguez, Columbus probably made the biggest splash of the offseason by selling their best player. They sold Gyasi Zardes for $8.7 million to Montpellier in France. So Columbus is probably not going to be that good this year. All right, so with the absence of Zardes, Patrick Mullins starts up top for Columbus. I swear down, if I get shit on by Patrick Mullins, I'm going to lose my mind. Ramon, waiting on the late arrival of Kreuzer. Nicholas Kreuzer, what a head. What's that? It has to be Kreuzer. There's no way that that's Mihailovic. It's definitely Kreuzer. Okay, well, I guess he was worth that new contract we gave him in the offseason. Oh, Columbus is, they're starting to put the pressure on. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous. Mullins. If that was Zardes, it's probably goal. Well, no, it wasn't. He was offside. But Mullins just does not instill any kind of fear in me whatsoever. It's a good ball for Katai. Frankowski for Jonathan Rodriguez. Wow. He has got a hell of a shot on him. Damn. Mete kind of mistimes his slide tackle. We still have an issue here. It's Mullins. It's a bigger issue. Eduardo Sosa. What a shot, but saved by Rogerson. All right. Corner for Columbus. What the fuck? Rogerson is so bad on crosses. He's actually shocking. Oh, that's an issue. That's a good ball in, and that's going to be tough to defend. It's off the post twice. And then Rogerson picks it up. Okay. Everybody calm down. It's okay. We're okay. Holy shit. How was that not a goal? Ooh, nice passing sequence. Get the ball in. Kreuzer. There's a goal. And it is Ramon gets himself going here in the regular season. 2-1 to Chicago. That should do it. Oh, Columbus, maybe one more chance to get a consolation goal. Nico Hansen. Nah, Wood deals with that, and that'll be the final whistle. Columbus, to be honest, they were better offensively than what I thought they were going to be. But defensively, they're still very, very good. They do have a solid defense, and we handled them, though. It wasn't too difficult. Good to get the season started off with a win. So with that, we'll go ahead and end this first episode of Season 3 right here. Hopefully this season we'll be able to sim a few more games throughout the regular season. Kind of depends on how things go. If we start slipping down the table, we might have to revisit that. But I feel like with the additions that we made, we should finally legitimately be one of the better teams in the league this year, especially with everyone else seemingly wanting to sell all their players, which is still a problem in FIFA. Hopefully that's not going to be the case in FIFA 20. But that is where we're going to end it for today. If you did enjoy it and looking forward to this third season, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you when we come back for some more Chicago Fire career.